A lot of women going about their daily business feel that their safety is being directly threatened by people who are coming from different cultures. And this needs to be discussed because I've had enough. All my other female friends have had enough. When I put this stuff online, the number of comments online from other women saying they've had enough and saying thank you for talking about this. Was it not enough when we noticed what was going on with grooming gangs? Was it not enough when we see what's happened to the victim of Abdullah Zaidi? When are we going to have the conversation that women's safety is being mortgaged at the altar of mass immigration and this faux political correctness?
Maybe if you stopped
voting
for it. I don't like clowns.
Roll tape, go to clip, aspirin please.
Let's have a peek at it, shall we?
I'm just going to read through the whole thing from the French translation, which was provided by Pascal Emmanuel Gobry. I'm 26 years old, blonde with light eyes, and I've always lived in the 6th arrondissement of Lyon, which is thought of as the poshest area in Lyon, and my daily life has become unbearable. I write this because 10 years ago I could go out with my friends in the evening at any hour without being bothered, insulted, followed or stabbed. I mentioned stabbing because 3 years ago my boyfriend, along with 2 of his friends on their way home, were approached by a group of men. They surrounded them, stole one of their cell phones. They tried to fight back, and my boyfriend, in spite of being a strong rugby man, got stabbed in the arm while protecting his neck, which was the target. As for myself, on a regular basis, men follow me, insult me because I refuse to talk back or because I say I have a boyfriend. One day, one spit on me. More and more I am whistled at like a dog or like I'm a cat. Acts of this nature have happened to me perhaps 30 times in the past year. 6 months ago, we adopted a puppy. One evening, my boyfriend went out to walk him at 9 p.m. and 3 men tried to steal the puppy. Since then, we only go out in the evening as a couple, and I always carry pepper spray in my purse. In our neighbourhood, just in our block, there are 3 drug dealing spots which work constantly, day and night, with everything that entails. Watchmen loitering outside our house, milling about, shouting, getting high and bothering people, especially women. Every single one of the actions I mentioned, and they're only part of what we have gone through, is the fact of men of sub-Saharan African or North African origin. A white man has never behaved towards me the way they have. Is it racist to call out what my daily life has become as a woman because of immigration? Is my reality, my daily life, racist? Am I not as legitimate as any other person to call out traumatizing acts of violence just because they are done by foreigners or immigrants? To be clear, I'm not talking about men in general, but specifically men, sometimes underage, who are of immigrant background. Now, and for about 4 years, the way I live my life has had to change to live with this constant insecurity. Now I live with a pepper spray outside my front door, a taser and a false pistol after an attempted break-in. We've had an extra lock added to our door. We have a security camera in our apartment. In my purse, I carry a second pepper spray as well as brass knuckles on my keychain. I never walk into a building without checking both sides of the street in case a man is following me. I never make eye contact with you-know-who. I constantly cross the street. I no longer leave my home on my own after 9 p.m. I no longer use public transport for obvious reasons. I'm afraid when I'm alone at home. I'm afraid when outside. Now, I am always afraid. I do not want this future for my children, who fortunately are not yet here. I do not understand people who do not see that France is turning into a cradle of insecurity because of immigrant men. Insecurity to women, but to men as well. Therefore, for your future and those of your children or your children to be, cast the right vote. And remember, this particular phenomenon, where street harassment of women has become so routine, is a form of cultural enrichment which is by no means exclusive to France.
We call it enrichment.
This is such an important issue for me because I've been living in London for 10 years. I've also lived in multiple other countries around the world. Never before have I felt as unsafe as I do now. When I walk down the street, I'm increasingly being leered at. I'm increasingly being followed like I'm going around the souks of Morocco. And it's not, visibly to me anyway, people who were born and bred here. It isn't.
You invited them.
You're both adopted! It was so good.
Do Superman, do Superman, do Superman.
Spank that butt. Let me spank that butt. Let me spank that butt. Let me.
It is a messed up world.